Most senior women reach a point where wrinkles deepen faster than expected. Collagen feels harder to restore, and the mirror no longer reflects the effort they've put into caring for their skin. After years of trying stronger creams and harsher solutions, many quietly wonder if there is still a gentler way to slow this process. That question is exactly why rosehip oil deserves a different conversation when it comes to collagen support and wrinkle reduction after 50. I'm Dr. Eliza Hart, a board-certified obstetrician and gynecologist with over 15 years of experience in women's health and hormonal wellness. And I've seen many women hear about rosehip oil without ever understanding why it feels so different on aging skin. It's often mentioned as just another natural oil, yet it quietly addresses some of the most frustrating changes senior women face, including thinning skin, deepening wrinkles, and collagen that no longer responds to aggressive treatments. What makes rosehip oil especially interesting after 50 is not the promise of instant youth, but the way it supports mature skin, where most anti-aging routines fall short. In this video, we'll explore why rosehip oil has been widely misunderstood when it comes to collagen support and wrinkle reduction after menopause. If this resonates with you, subscribe for evidence-based guidance on women's health after 50 and comment below with the country you're watching from so I can see how far this message is reaching around the world. Stay until the end because I have a small but important insight about rosehip oil that most women have never been told. And let's begin by looking at what truly happens to collagen after 50. 1. Why collagen loss after 50 is mostly about damage, not absence. Before we talk about any solution, it's important to correct one of the most discouraging beliefs many senior women carry, which is the idea that collagen simply disappears after menopause and can never be supported again. In reality, collagen does not vanish overnight, even in the years following hormonal changes. What changes most dramatically is the environment surrounding collagen, including hydration levels, lipid protection, and inflammatory signaling, and that environment determines whether existing fibers remain stable or begin to weaken and fragment faster than expected. As estrogen levels decline, the skin loses more than firmness alone. The lipid barrier becomes thinner, water escapes more easily, and low-grade inflammation quietly settles into the tissue, often without visible redness or irritation. Over time, this creates a perfect setting for collagen to become vulnerable. Enzymes such as matrix metalloproteinases become more active, slowly breaking down collagen fibers that once held structure and resilience, while reduced circulation limits the skin's ability to repair micro-damage efficiently. This process often happens even in women who are diligent with skincare, because the issue is not effort, but biology that has shifted beneath the surface. This is why many women feel confused when stronger creams or more aggressive routines fail to deliver lasting improvement. When the skin is inflamed, dehydrated, and biologically unstable, stimulating it harder rarely restores strength. Instead, collagen fibers become overstretched, less organized, and more prone to forming deeper, more rigid wrinkles, especially around areas of repeated movement. What looks like collagen loss in the mirror is often collagen under constant stress, no longer supported by a calm, hydrated, and well-protected foundation. Understanding this distinction is essential because it reframes aging skin from something broken into something strained. When collagen is damaged repeatedly, rather than completely absent, the goal shifts away from forcing rapid renewal and toward reducing the conditions that accelerate breakdown. This is especially relevant for senior women whose skin reacts more intensely to irritation and recovers more slowly than it once did, making stability far more valuable than speed. This perspective also explains why gentler, biologically supportive approaches often feel more effective after 50, even when they do not promise dramatic overnight changes. When the skin's internal environment becomes more stable, collagen has the opportunity to behave differently, and wrinkles no longer deepen at the same relentless pace. This understanding sets the foundation for why certain ingredients deserve closer attention, not for what they claim to create, but for what they help preserve as the skin continues to age. 2. Rosehip oil's fatty acids, the barrier repair collagen needs. One of the least discussed reasons wrinkles accelerate after 50 has very little to do with how much collagen your skin can still produce, and much more to do with whether that collagen is being protected at the surface. Many senior women are surprised to learn that collagen does not fail in isolation. It responds directly to the condition of the skin barrier above it, which quietly determines how much stress those fibers endure each day, even from simple facial movement, daily cleansing habits, or subtle changes in humidity. As the skin matures, its lipid layer becomes thinner and less organized, largely due to hormonal shifts that reduce natural oil production and alter fatty acid composition. When this barrier weakens, water escapes more easily through the surface, a process known as transepidermal water loss. Over time, this constant dehydration places mechanical tension on collagen fibers below, stretching them repeatedly and making them more susceptible to breakdown, especially in areas where the skin is already thinner. Even well-formulated creams struggle to compensate when the barrier itself is compromised. This is where rosehip oil begins to matter in a way most women are never told. Rich in linoleic and linolenic acid, rosehip oil provides the exact types of fatty acids mature skin tends to lose with age. These lipids do not simply coat the skin, they integrate into the skin's natural structure, helping restore barrier flexibility and improve how cells hold on to moisture. When the skin retains water more effectively, collagen fibers experience less daily strain, allowing them to remain more organized and resilient over time. What makes this especially relevant for senior women is that barrier repair often delivers benefits that stimulation alone cannot. When hydration stabilizes and lipid support is restored, the skin becomes calmer, more responsive, and less reactive to environmental stressors, such as temperature changes, dry air, or frequent cleansing. Wrinkles that once appeared sharp or rigid begin to soften not because collagen was suddenly created, but because it is no longer being pulled apart by constant dehydration. This distinction is crucial because it shifts the goal from chasing dramatic results to restoring balance. A well-supported barrier gives collagen the conditions it needs to function without constant damage, which is why certain oils feel transformative on mature skin even when they make no bold promises. Understanding this connection helps explain why collagen responds best when the skin above it is protected, first setting the stage for a more stable and graceful aging process. 3. How rosehip oil slows collagen breakdown, MMP1 insight. There is a moment many senior women recognize even if they've never had the words for it, when their skin seems to age faster, despite careful routines and consistent effort. Wrinkles deepen, firmness feels harder to maintain, and the results from products that once worked begin to fade sooner than expected. This shift is not a failure of discipline, but a biological change driven by enzymes that quietly become more active as the skin ages, especially in the years following hormonal transition. One of the most important of these enzymes is MMP1, a collagen-degrading enzyme that increases with chronic inflammation, UV exposure, and hormonal decline. After menopause, low-grade inflammation tends to linger longer in the skin, even without visible redness or discomfort. This creates an internal environment where MMP1 remains active for longer periods, steadily breaking down collagen fibers faster than the body can repair them. Over time, collagen becomes thinner, less organized, and more vulnerable to forming deeper, more permanent wrinkles. What makes this process especially frustrating is that many anti-aging routines unintentionally aggravate it. Aggressive exfoliation, strong retinoids, and frequent stimulation can temporarily improve surface texture, while simultaneously increasing microscopic irritation beneath the skin barrier. For mature skin that already recovers more slowly and holds inflammation longer, this repeated stress can further activate collagen-breaking enzymes rather than calming them. The result is a cycle where the skin looks briefly smoother, but collagen continues to weaken underneath. Rosehip oil enters this picture in a quieter, more strategic way. Its natural polyphenols and vitamin A derivatives support the skin without overwhelming it, helping reduce inflammatory signaling that feeds enzyme activity. Instead of forcing rapid turnover, rosehip oil encourages a calmer internal environment, one where collagen breakdown slows rather than accelerates. This is why many senior women describe their skin as feeling more stable, resilient, and comfortable over time, even before visible changes fully appear. This distinction matters because slowing collagen loss is often more achievable after 50 than rebuilding it aggressively. When enzymes like MMP1 are kept in check, collagen fibers have a better chance to maintain their structure longer, and wrinkles progress at a gentler pace rather than deepening abruptly. If you've noticed that strong products tend to irritate your skin, but you still want meaningful collagen support, comment 1 below. If your skin tolerates stimulation well and you've never struggled with irritation, comment 0. Understanding where your skin falls helps explain why certain approaches work better than others, and it naturally leads us to how wrinkle texture itself changes when inflammation is finally calmed. 4. Why rosehip oil softens wrinkles without irritating mature skin. At a certain stage after 50, many women notice that wrinkles do not just deepen, they begin to look sharper, tighter, and more fixed in place, even on days when the skin feels well moisturized. This change often leads to the assumption that wrinkles are purely structural, as if collagen has suddenly failed beyond repair. In clinical experience, however, the texture of wrinkles is just as influenced by inflammation and nerve sensitivity as it is by collagen itself. Mature skin processes signals differently than it did decades earlier. As recovery slows, the skin's nervous system becomes more reactive to stress, temperature shifts, and aggressive ingredients. When irritation is repeatedly triggered even at low levels, underlying muscles and connective tissue tend to hold subtle tension. Over time, this tension contributes to wrinkles appearing deeper and more rigid, not because the skin lacks collagen entirely, but because it is no longer able to relax fully. This is where rosehip oil plays a role that many anti-aging products overlook. Rather than pushing the skin into faster turnover or controlled irritation, rosehip oil works by calming the background noise within the skin. Its naturally occurring antioxidants and fatty acids help reduce inflammatory signaling without disrupting the skin barrier or overstimulating nerve endings. For senior women, this difference is critical because skin that is constantly activated often struggles to regain balance. As inflammation decreases and the skin's surface becomes more stable, wrinkles begin to behave differently. Lines that once looked etched or compressed start to appear softer and less tense, even before measurable changes in collagen density occur. This softening effect is often mistaken for temporary hydration, but it reflects a deeper shift in how the skin responds to stress throughout the day. When irritation is minimized, the skin spends less time in a defensive state and more time maintaining structure. It is important to understand that softening wrinkles is not the same as erasing them. Rosehip oil does not promise to remove years of expression or movement, nor does it need to. Its value lies in restoring comfort and flexibility to mature skin, allowing existing collagen to function without constant inflammatory interference. For many senior women, this is the difference between skin that feels fragile and skin that feels supported. Recognizing how wrinkle texture changes when irritation is reduced helps explain why some approaches feel sustainable, while others quickly lead to sensitivity. And once the skin is calmer and more receptive, it becomes easier to understand how different tools can be used together rather than in competition as part of a thoughtful routine for aging skin. 5. Rosehip oil versus retinol. After 50, not a competition. Few topics create more confusion for senior women than the feeling that they must choose between gentleness and effectiveness, as if caring for aging skin requires picking one side and abandoning the other. Retinol is often presented as the gold standard, while gentler options are dismissed as secondary or weak. Yet this either-or thinking overlooks how mature skin actually functions after 50, when resilience, recovery time, and tolerance change in very real ways. Retinol works by stimulating cell turnover and encouraging the skin to renew itself more quickly. In younger skin, this stimulation is often well tolerated and can lead to visible improvements. After menopause, however, the same stimulation can become unpredictable. As estrogen declines, the skin's ability to repair itself slows, inflammation lingers longer, and the margin between effective and irritating becomes much narrower. This is why many senior women find themselves caught between wanting results and fearing flare-ups, dryness, or prolonged sensitivity. Rosehip oil operates in a completely different lane. Instead of signaling the skin to work faster, it focuses on helping the skin function more steadily. By supporting the barrier, calming inflammation, and reducing the background stress that accelerates collagen breakdown, rosehip oil prepares the skin to tolerate care more comfortably. This does not make it a substitute for retinol, but it does make it a crucial counterbalance, especially for skin that has already experienced years of cumulative stress. In clinical practice, the most sustainable routines for mature skin are rarely built on constant stimulation alone. They are built on rhythm and recovery, where active ingredients are supported by periods of restoration. When the skin is calmer, better hydrated, and less inflamed, it responds more predictably to stimulation. When it is pushed without support, even the best ingredients can backfire. This is why framing rosehip oil and retinol as rivals misses the point entirely. One challenges the skin to renew, while the other helps the skin remain stable enough to respond without breaking down. For senior women, this balance often determines whether wrinkles soften gradually or whether the skin enters a cycle of irritation and overcorrection. Understanding this distinction also helps release unnecessary pressure. Aging skin does not need to be forced into constant action to remain healthy. It needs thoughtful support, timing, and respect for its changing biology. And when these elements are aligned, the conversation shifts away from choosing sides and toward using each tool in a way that serves the skin's long-term strength rather than short-term urgency. 6. The one role rosehip oil does better than most anti-aging creams. At some point, many senior women begin to sense that what their skin truly needs has shifted, even if the beauty industry continues to offer the same promises it always has. Creams still advertise renewal, correction, and transformation, yet the skin itself seems less interested in dramatic change and far more responsive to consistency, comfort, and stability. This quiet realization is often overlooked, but it points directly to the unique role rosehip oil fulfills, better than most anti-aging products on the market. Unlike creams designed to push visible results quickly, rosehip oil does not attempt to override the skin's natural pace. Mature skin after 50 operates within narrower biological margins, where inflammation lasts longer, repair takes more time, and overstimulation carries greater consequences. In this context, the most valuable support is not acceleration, but preservation. Rosehip oil excels at helping the skin maintain equilibrium, reducing the daily stresses that cause collagen to deteriorate faster than necessary. This role becomes especially important when considering how aging skin responds to cumulative pressure. Environmental exposure, repeated cleansing, hormonal changes, and years of active treatments all add up, often leaving the skin in a constant state of low-level defense. Many anti-aging creams unintentionally contribute to this cycle by introducing additional irritation even when their intentions are corrective. Rosehip oil, by contrast, works by lowering the baseline stress within the skin, allowing natural processes to function without constant disruption. When the skin is supported rather than challenged, collagen fibers are subjected to fewer inflammatory signals and less mechanical strain. Over time, this stability translates into slower progression of wrinkles, improved comfort, and skin that feels more resilient, even if it does not look dramatically different overnight. For senior women, this distinction often determines whether a routine feels sustainable or exhausting. It is also why rosehip oil tends to feel different emotionally, as well as physically. Instead of chasing youth, it aligns with the skin's current biology, acknowledging that aging skin benefits more from protection than pressure. This shift in mindset can be surprisingly empowering as it reframes skincare from a battle against time into a process of stewardship. If you're going to try just one supportive oil for mature skin, this is the one to understand first. Its greatest strength lies not in creating instant change, but in helping the skin age more slowly, more comfortably, and with fewer setbacks along the way. And once this principle is clear, it becomes much easier to approach application with intention rather than expectation, which naturally leads into how senior women can use rosehip oil safely and effectively as part of a long-term routine. 7. How senior women should use rosehip oil for collagen support. Once the role of rosehip oil is clearly understood, the next question almost always becomes practical rather than theoretical, because mature skin does not benefit from excess or intensity, but from precision and timing. The way rosehip oil is used matters just as much as the oil itself, especially after 50 when the skin's response is slower, more sensitive and far less forgiving of overload or frequent changes. For senior women, rosehip oil works best when introduced gradually and intentionally, rather than layered aggressively or combined too quickly with multiple actives. In the first week, a small amount is enough to allow the skin to recognize and adapt without triggering confusion. 2 to 3 drops in the evening, applied after cleansing while the skin is still slightly damp, helps the oil spread evenly. Integrate into the barrier and avoid unnecessary surface buildup. This timing supports overnight repair when circulation and cellular recovery naturally increase. As the skin adjusts, rosehip oil can be placed after a hydrating serum rather than directly on bare skin. This sequence helps seal in water while maintaining barrier flexibility, which is especially important for collagen stability in thinner postmenopausal skin. Mature skin often responds better when hydration is layered, first followed by lipids that lock it in, instead of relying on oils alone to perform both roles. One of the most important considerations is restraint. More oil does not translate into better results, and over-application can actually interfere with the skin's ability to regulate itself and release excess heat or inflammation. The goal is not to saturate, but to support. When used correctly, rosehip oil should absorb comfortably, leaving the skin feeling nourished rather than coated or heavy. It is also essential to introduce rosehip oil separately from strong actives. Starting a new retinol or exfoliant at the same time can blur feedback signals, making it difficult to understand how the skin is responding, particularly for women whose skin reacts unpredictably after menopause. Allowing the skin to adapt to one change at a time creates clarity, confidence, and reduces unnecessary irritation. Finally, patience plays a quiet but critical role. Rosehip oil does not deliver immediate transformation, but it does reward consistency. Over time, skin that feels calmer, less reactive, and more resilient provides the biological conditions collagen needs to remain stable longer. For senior women, this gentle, measured approach often proves far more effective than chasing rapid change because it aligns with how aging skin truly heals, adapts, and maintains strength. Rosehip oil is not a shortcut to youth, and it was never meant to be. Its true value lies in how it supports mature skin where it matters most, by calming inflammation, strengthening the barrier, and helping collagen age more slowly instead of breaking down under constant stress. For senior women, this shift from forcing results to protecting stability often makes the greatest difference over time. If there is one takeaway to remember, it is this: skin after 50 responds best to consistency, patience, and care that respects its changing biology rather than routines that demand urgency. If this video has been helpful to you and you'd like to support the work behind this channel, you're welcome to donate using the link below. Your support helps us continue creating thoughtful, evidence-based content for women navigating health and aging with confidence. Please like this video, share it with someone who may benefit, subscribe to the channel for future guidance, and thank you sincerely for spending your time here with me.